This episode is brought to you by the Witty and Gritty 5-Minute Mini Journal. It's centered around Ephesians 6:10-18, known as the Armor of God. Once you download this freebie, over the next 7 days, take a few minutes each day and dive into what the Armor of God is and why it's important to Christians in their daily walk. You can find this at wittyandgritty.blog. We'll link it in the show notes.
Welcome to the Witty and Gritty podcast, where we believe that lifelong learning and relentless determination are essential to developing your passions and reaching your goals. Here to help you along the way are the hosts of the show. Take it away, ladies.
Hey y'all, I'm Brooke.
And I'm Farron.
As educators and high achievers, we're passionate about providing our listeners with effective strategies to help navigate life's obstacles and reach your goals sooner.
Join us as we break down credible research that gives you a fresh perspective and challenges your limiting beliefs.
Laugh and grow as we share personal anecdotes and interviews from people that have demonstrated what it takes to be successful.
By implementing these practices, you will develop your unique skill set and learn how to better serve your community.
Get your mind right.
And enjoy this time designed just for you.
Okay, this episode has lots of 1s, 2s, and 3s in it. It's episode 123, 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do, Chapter 12.
Man, when you said 1s, 2s, and 3s, I thought we were talking Enneagram or something.
But no, just literal numbers.
I'm so thrilled with all the combinations there. This is exciting.
All the numbers.
I wonder how many minutes long it's going to be.
Well, I don't know. We're going to have to find out at the end.
It was like 23.
Post-editing.
It'd be an even amount of 2s and 3s.
Okay, well.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go.
There will either be blank space at the end of this episode.
That would be
awesome. Or it'll cut off in the middle of the sentence to equal 23 minutes.
I can't wait. Okay, so chapter 12. They don't feel the world owes them anything.
Don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Robert Jones Burdett.
Or, as my dad likes to lovingly say, life is not fair. Get used to it. That's good sound advice.
Oh, but yeah, I think if you struggle with entitlement, this one's for you. And I think, again, everyone to some degree through each of these chapters feels something in each of these. Mm-hmm. So to some degree, in this chapter, you can see yourself or someone you love and how to fix it.
Yeah. So she's giving a list of statements that might resonate with you. One of these statements is, you think you perform better than average at most tasks, like driving or interacting with other people. And I think to extend that, like you are better at more things than more people, so you deserve more things.
Whatever it is.
Basically, that you're better than everybody else.
Yeah. You believe you deserve to be happy. That one, y'all, happiness is a choice. It's an emotion that you feel. Just like you should choose joy. But deserve to be happy, in case you aren't aware, when you're born on earth, your default path would be hell. And God swoops in and saves you on no effort of your own. So you deserve a one-way ticket to hell. So whenever people throw around the word deserve, oh, you deserve to be happy, or you deserve the promotion, in my head I'm like, no, that's inaccurate. That's biblically inaccurate. So there's that one. That's why I was like, oh, gotta say that one.
Yeah. You think you're smart enough to succeed without having to work hard. Which a big parenting tip is to applaud a student or child for their effort and not saying that they're smart, even though they probably are smart. But applaud the effort, because if you're an adult, you know that life is hard work. So it's not just what you have, but you gotta put it into action.
You think you've dealt with your share of problems in life, and it's your turn to have good things happen to you. Mm-hmm. It rains on the just and unjust alike.
Yes. Okay, so why would we feel the world owes us anything?
Why would we feel that, Farron? Why?
Well, we live in a world where rights and privileges frequently get confused. Mm-hmm. So like you were just saying, it is a privilege to get a promotion. It is a privilege for recognition. It's not a right to it. Mm-hmm. Also, the feeling that the world owes you something isn't always about a sense of superiority. sometimes it's about a sense of injustice. So again, like, why did they get it? They don't deserve it. I deserve it.
Right, I've been at this company for however many years. I'm more qualified. The other person got the promotion.
Yeah, or the other point you shared too, which is the flip side of that coin, that I've taken enough licks, it's my turn to have something good come my
just
way.
need a win. Why can't I get a win? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all been there. We've all been there, y'all.
And as usual, there are going to be problems with having a sense of entitlement. An entitlement mentality prevents you from earning things based on merit. So it's, I'm not going to earn that. I'm just going to go and rip it out of someone else's hand or demand the job and bully people into things.
Yeah, and that can be because of what name you have on your resume or what school is on your resume or...
your family's name.
Sure.
You'll also make unrealistic demands of people or be too focused on gaining what you think you deserve. Man, that just goes back to being in, like, tune with what you value in your priorities.
Yeah. I like how right after that, in big letters, it says, get over yourself. Oh, Amy, you're funny.
She's not pulling any punches.
No, she doesn't have to. She's like, this isn't a therapy session. This is my book, and you can choose to read it, so get over yourself.
Yep. So she starts by saying one way to get over yourself is to be self-aware of your sense of entitlement.
It's one of those things that it can sneak up on you, and you don't realize it. Or your kid says something, and you're like, did you just ask for that? I just gave you a cookie, and now you're asking for a popsicle? Like, we see it all the time in our kids. So what are we doing that's that small of a thing that we feel like we deserve it? Mm-hmm. Or I've worked here forever. I'm going to take this item home from the job. Like, that's theft, y'all.
Yes. So she says that she provides some more thoughts that might indicate that you have some underlying beliefs about what the world owes you. Maybe sitting there, a lot of these sound almost pity party like.
And they're kind of sneaky too.
Yeah, I deserve better than this. I'm more valuable than this. Good things will come my way. There's always been something really special about me.
You special little person.
My mommy told me.
Good job.
But no, that I can find myself in those situations, having those thoughts from time to time, and that discontentment,
Yes.
I think, is again another tool of the devil, because you're right on the edge of already like self-pity and wallowing, and he just gives you this little push.
Yeah.
This little like, yeah, you're right, yeah.
In a previous episode, you talked about that's not fair. Mm-hmm. We do that, and that's called entitlement. We just call it something different when we're older. So pay attention to the thoughts that you have in your head and keep these truths in mind. Life isn't meant to be fair. Your problems aren't unique. You have choices in how you respond to disappointment, and you aren't more deserving. So those are, again, hard truths, but we've got to know and understand that if we're going to press on and learning to not feel like the world owes us something.
Yeah. One of the hardest ones for me is you have a choice in how you respond to disappointment.
Yeah, because disappointment is hard, especially if it's a thing you've been banking on, praying about, and it still doesn't happen.
Yeah. I think we encourage people to control what they can control.
Yeah.
And so you do. You're busting your tail, you're showing up to work early, you're doing all the things, you're living out a right life, according to God, and checking all these boxes, and sometimes you're still not going to see the fruition of that.
Right.
So that one is pretty hard. But that's where faith comes in and fills that gap.
And some tips there. She talks about focus on giving and not taking. That makes me think of our college coach. He used to always say, there's only two kinds of people in the world, givers and takers. I'm like, oh, man.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah.
I say that to my mom.
There you go. Thanks, Paul.
But I usually say it like when she's given me a lot, and then she asks me for one thing.
Oh, reciprocate.
And she just kind of looks at me, and I'm like, I'm kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She also talks about behaving like a team player. That's another pro tip you have there. So you can focus on your efforts and not your importance. You can accept criticism gracefully. Don't keep score, which is another hard one, especially if you're like, man, they got this. I did the same thing and only got this. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really hard. And practicing humility. All of those things are going to make you more mentally strong, which is the goal.
Yeah, and maybe you do need to, she even talks about acknowledging your flaws and weaknesses. And so I think some people are really good at seeing those, and they need to see more of their own strengths. But then there are others that can't see that they've done anything wrong or have any room for improvement or why they might have been passed over for an opportunity.
Right.
So, again, y'all aren't all like Brooke and I. Brooke and I are pretty good at picking out our own flaws really easily, and probably ones that aren't even flaws, but we say they're flaws. But yeah, so there's some people out there that, and again, maybe you need an outside perspective.
Yes.
I think we've talked before about a respectful way to talk through how you're feeling. So you get passed over for a promotion, respectfully to the boss. Hey, I was really hoping to get this. This is what I've done. What would you suggest I do? And then just be ready, like it said, to
be ready. Mm-hmm.
And accepting the feedback.
Yeah, that's a good one. Just having that respectful conversation, I think, is good. And like you said, finding people who can speak life into you if you can't see your own entitlement in certain areas. Ask your spouse. They live with you, so they might be able to point out a few things for you. But again, be ready for it and accept the criticism, because your job is to grow, right? So suck it up, buttercup.
And maybe you've been praying for God to grow you spiritually. And this is what he's doing.
Yes.
So
prayed for it. Here it is.
Yes. The whole, like, if you pray for patience, then you're going to find yourself in situations
in traffic
where
every time.
You really need to be patient. So, don't push him away, which it could feel like the right time to do that. There's never the right time to do that. But you might feel justified in all of that. But bring your frustrations to God, and hopefully he will respond.
Yes.
That is the idea. So she says, when you stop demanding that you need more and are able to be satisfied with what you have, you'll reap tremendous benefits in life. You'll move forward with a sense of peace and contentment without experiencing bitterness and selfishness.
Man, this makes me think of, have you ever said the phrase, man, if I only had fill in the blank, I would be able to fill in the blank. But then when you get that thing, then you're like, oh man, if I only had this. It just always makes me think of If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, which is a children's book if you haven't read it. But basically the premise is, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. If you give the mouse a glass of milk, he's going to want it, and then it just goes on and on and on and on. And then you're like, man, I hate this mouse. But then you realize, I am the mouse. This author's a genius.
Another way to look at it, too, is like if you've worked really hard towards a goal or promotion and you get it, and the satisfaction doesn't last.
Yeah, it's fleeting.
It is. So you got to put it in your satisfaction and your hope and your faith all in something that lasts eternally.
Jesus. Man, one of these episodes we talked about dad advice. Mm-hmm. It was in like the first 4 episodes because that was our first batch. But my dad advised me, I guess it was when I was starting out in my adult career. In my career as an adult. After hours episode coming at you.
What is an adult career?
Anyway, he said, well, this is what I'm about to say. If you chase the money, you're going to always chase the money. I was like, dang, that's right. So, or if you're going to chase the prestige, you're going to always chase it. You're going to be a slave to that because you're going to want the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. We've mentioned this not even in this miniseries, but what does the Super Bowl champion say right after he's saying he's going to Disney World? We'll be back here next year. It's so fleeting that it's not going to last. So you do need to put all that hope in Jesus.
Yeah. It's about the journey.
It's the Clyde. All right, she closes every chapter with what's helpful and what's not helpful. And remember, the chapter title is Mentally Strong People Don't Feel the World Owes Them Anything. So, what will be helpful?
What's helpful is focusing on what you have to give rather than what you want to take.
Givers and takers. Behaving like a team player. That's another one. Man, if you get passed up or whatever it is, your job is still to do your work as it is unto the Lord. So still be the team player. Still do the thing. Still crush your goals.
Yeah, I think it's, like what goes around comes around as far as being a team player. And also, like, how much more fun is it these days? Maybe not when you're a kid. I don't know. But to, like, give someone a gift.
Right.
Like, I get more satisfaction and gratification out of the experience of blessing someone else than I do opening a gift for me.
Yeah.
Jacob, I still like gifts.
Still give me stuff. Husbands, that is not a way for you to get out of giving gifts.
Starbucks gift cards are nice.
Yes, that ties right in with the other one, thinking about other people's feelings. Like, why not be happy for the person who did get the promotion? Cheer them on, because if they're your direct boss, you want them to be successful for all the reasons, but also out of the goodness of your heart. So there's that.
What's not helpful? Only taking your own feelings into consideration.
Yes.
It's not all about you, boo.
Becoming overconfident in yourself and your abilities. Again, that's like, it's all on me. I can do all of this. God equipped you, so He gives and takes away. Watch out. Mm-hmm. You're going to get smoten.
Smitten? I don't know. All right. Refusing to give others because you don't have what you deserve. I think this comes from the idea of scarcity too. Like,
yeah.
Well, I can't donate money because then
I'm not going to have money.
I don't have enough monies for
I don't got the
things.
God's going to provide, people.
Yep.
Okay, y'all. It's not going to end on 23 minutes, but that's all right.
We have our intro and outro.
We'll see. I don't know about that.
Put it in slow.
Okay, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
We help hardworking Christian women get the growth they want by giving them the tools they need in order to have more joyful lives.
We love providing our Christian-based personal growth podcast to our listeners at no cost. If you are enjoying the content, please consider supporting our mission by donating to our Patreon.
We're a small team creating the show for our community by researching, recording, and producing the episodes ourselves. Any amount is greatly appreciated. Your support will help offset the cost of making and hosting the show.
As a thank you, you can receive exclusive access.
For more details on specific membership tiers, visit our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/witty and gritty. We've included the link in the show notes.